Kenya and me, one day at a time with Canine Megaesophagus. Kenya came to us as a puppy at 8 weeks of age. The training started with her right away. We used food motivation for positive reinforcement because as a trainer I strive to use positive techniques. She caught on to everything we taught her very quickly, and she became a pro at every toy puzzle and food puzzle I had given her. We started noticing odd things. She was making a lot of gurgling sounds. We didn't know what was wrong with her. She wasn't keeping food or water down and was regurgitating everything from once a week to daily and then hourly, to the point where she was losing weight and didn't look very good. So she started to constantly look for water at the sink or for the toilet, actually anywhere there was standing water. We worked with our vet on ruling out some simple things until he became suspicious of Megaesophagus. At 5 months of age and treating her for almost everything under the sun, our vet said she had Megaesophagus. So we had x-rays done, which were read by a radiologist, and then 2 other doctors looked at the x-rays, confirming the suspicion. He reviewed the x-rays with us and showed us what was wrong. It was very clear what we were seeing. She was born with a congenital disorder called Megaesophagus. Upon diagnosis, the vet showed us how to feed and give water to Kenya. At the time, all we had was a garbage can to put her in so that she could be upright in vertical position to let the water and the food go down and let gravity take effect. We had tears in our eyes seeing the changes we had to go through to accommodate her needs especially. There were 2 choices we had to think about: euthanasia or life. And of course we chose life. And eventually we had a special chair made for her, which is called a Bailey chair. So we also have to watch what type of food we feed her. We can't just give her regular kibble. We give her canned food, and then we take her kibble, which is her dry food, and we saturate it in water and let it soak till it expands. And once the food is expanded, we have to put it into a food processor. And we would make some food for her for about a week. So the consistency of her food is kind of like cereal, and that's how she eats. So once we figure out, how much to give her, how often we have to give it to her, and if we have to make any changes to it, so we just kind of have to go one day at a time. If she's let out of her chair less than 20 minutes, she regurgitates her food more frequently, which leads to a lot of cleaning up. So sometimes, again, we can be cleaning up after her once a day, 3 times a day, maybe twice a week. It just is very inconsistent. She can't even chew on a bone because it will cause her to salivate, which again causes pooling of saliva in her esophagus. We wake up sometimes, multiple times in the middle of the night with regurgitation in her crate, forcing us to hose her down very often. She's now suffering from an injury, as I mentioned, that is discouraging because it's now discouraging her from getting into her chair. I can't afford for my business to suffer from not being able to board and train dogs due to her condition. So one day at a time is very challenging. We chose to give her life, knowing we would have to care for her for the rest of her life. The German Shepherd's lifespan is about 12 years, which makes choosing life over death not an easy decision. This day, I realized my purpose in life is to be a caregiver, especially after caring for my quadriplegic mother for almost 5 years. Well, choosing life for Kenya, as I said, was not an easy decision and is not an easy day-to-day life, especially for the average pet parent. But she is truly a very good dog and lives somewhat of a healthy life for a dog in that condition. I hope you all can learn something from my personal experience, As hard as it is, I cannot imagine my life without her. Ready? Sit. Stay. Stay. Kitty, come. She jumped over him before. Sit. Stay. Kitty, come. Good girl.